So the Maliwan Takedown update is finally out. I've been waiting for it for a bit. I've been really excited about it, and I figured I could show you guys my thoughts on it. Spoiler alert for the whole raid. There's nothing story related, but you will see who you're fighting. So if you don't want to see who the enemies are of this raid, stop watching now. So here's the breakdown in my experience with the raid. If you're looking for where to start this raid mission, go past Marcus's shop and Sanctuary. At the bottom of the staircase, that's where you start it. Lorelei will give you a mission once you accept it, and you can travel to the location using the main deck's computer and going to the drop pod by Ellie. Your pretty standard travel stuff. This mission is required for 4 players who are all level 50 with pretty good guns to do. Now, when I did this mission at first, I did it alone to see how far I can get, and here are my results. This is a whole new map built into the game, and when you start, they'll give you a healing vending machine and an ammo vending machine. Make sure you use both. Trust me, you are going to need it. Go over, flip this switch, the countdown starts, and the raid begins. Now, part of the rules of this is if you go in with a team and one of your teammates dies, they will go into spectating mode until you kill the next boss and get to the next area of the raid. If all 4 of you die, you go back to the beginning of the raid and you have to start it over, with the only exception being a midway checkpoint after the first set of major bosses. I made my way into the facility by taking out the guards on the walls. There's 3 of them. Once you take them down, the gate opens. After I made it inside, the objective just said fight through the facility. So just know this is one of those events where you cannot proceed any further until you kill every enemy in the area. Then the doors will open. So treat it very much like a circle of slaughter. Just kill everything. So once you're done massacring every Maliwan worker in the area, you'll find a gate and the doors will open, revealing the first mini-boss. An easy shielded eyeball and his buddy, the Kraken. The Kraken is pretty easy once you learn about his patterns. He shoots a bunch of missiles that try and track you down, and he has a shield that has an opening in it. So just run around that, hit him, you should be good to go. Not too bad, a pretty decent mini-boss if I'm gonna be honest. I like to say that the Maliwan Black site is broken up into 4 areas. The Kraken being end of Area 1. Area 2 is a few people, then an elevator that takes you down to the next set of trouble. This set of trouble being the Valkyrie Squad. They are the midway raid set of bosses. Yes, bosses. There are 3 of them. This was the end of my solo run. Took me about 13 minutes to get halfway through the raid where the Valkyrie Squad ended me. The next attempt was with my buddy, and starting out, didn't go so well. Bad start aside, we did manage to get inside the building and do some decent amount of damage. We did end up making it to the Kraken before he took us out with a missile barrage. The attempt after that, we invited another one of our friends, and we got decently far before he had to leave for work. We made it all the way to the Valkyries and got their health at least under half before we failed. After he left for work, me and my buddy made it back to the Valkyries, and humble brag here, he fell off a cliff and I actually ended up soloing them, but I did not film until after they were beaten. But I did record it on Xbox Live, so here's that clip. So once you end up defeating the Valkyrie Squad, you have a checkpoint. Thank God. But if you leave this area and come back, you cannot respawn at this checkpoint. You have to start it over. So once you're about this point, you better be dedicated to killing this boss. This is what I consider to be Area 3 out of 4 of the raid. It involves this little outside space where you have to kill people until a door opens up, and then trying to cross a small bridge full of enemies. If you're able to do all that, then congratulations on beating Area 3, and prepare for the final boss. Before you fight him, there are vending machines with health and ammo at usually the start of each area. Make sure to keep an eye out for that. Remember that you will need it. Alright everybody, meet Wotan the Invincible. As you can tell with his name, the Invincible, he's pretty damn hard. Borderlands has a running thing of endgame bosses that you can go and fight, having the Invincible at the end of their name. Wotan is no exception to this rule, and he will crush you. That's if you come ill-prepared. So make sure everybody on your team has a great build, good guns, and there's at least 3 of you. Then you should be fine. 4 would obviously be better, but in the end, we ended up doing it with 3. Wotan, starting out, has vulnerabilities on the top and bottom of his shield. Take advantage of these when you first start out to get his shield down. Once he's down, end up shooting the green part on him. I was shooting the little ball things at first, but I believe the back of him is a critical spot, so try hitting that. At the time, I didn't because I didn't know better, but there you go. Once his shields are back up, everything starts to get hectic. He summons a bunch of ads, so take care of them ASAP, because if you don't, things get very, very bad. As you can see by his shields on the side, there is an opening that does rotate. That's where you're going to hit him next. But we didn't end up doing that, and this is where we died. After a few more attempts, we went in the matchmaking, and we found this dude, Killer. He ended up not speaking English, so he was silent the whole time. I guess he said he's Spanish in the messages. But this dude was the biggest help, and shout out to him. Thank God we found him in matchmaking. This dude is an absolute monster of a player. We only had 2 people because one of my buddies was spectating at the time because the game kicked him out, and by the time he joined back in, it forced him to spectate. So it was just me and Killer, and we spent quite a bit of time fighting this boss. It might not seem like it, seeing as Killer melted almost half his shield immediately, but this fight in total took about 25 minutes. Now, the developers said that if you're good at this, the raid might take you between somewhere from 30 to 40 minutes. Now, I have 2.5 hours of footage from this raid filmed. I didn't film half the times we went through and fought the Valkyries, so just note that it definitely took us more than 2.5 hours to finally finish this. Now, once you get his shield down for the second time, he will start jumping from pillar to pillar, so just keep hitting him. After you get his health down to halfway, he will make a double shield. The first layer of the shield, you can go in, but you will start taking a lot of damage. But once you're in the first shield, find the opening of the second shield and start hitting him as fast as you can. Quick tip, these bits right here on the corners of the map are grav lifts. If you jump in it, you will be lifted up and you can hit him from above. Once you get these 2 shields down, his second phase begins. His top half detaches from his bottom and starts flying around, hitting you with missiles over and over and over again. And his bottom half becomes a tank that shoots out crazy ecto balls that will melt your health. This is about where I ended up dying and Killer was alone. Once again, shout out to this dude. He was an absolute champion. He slid around, fought both the top and bottom half all by himself while dealing with ads later in the fight, and we ended up winning. So that's about it for the Maliwan takedown. We ended up beating it. It took probably around 3 hours, maybe a little bit more. We got some legendaries out of it, so thank God. My opinion, this was one of the funnest things I've done in Borderlands. This is some great endgame content, and they're not even finished yet. And holy crap, that was really awesome. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you like the raid / takedown, whatever you want to call it. It was awesome. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching. Hope you dropped a like on a video, and bye-bye.